complement your speech by reducing ideas connected with who, which, or that. I mean, adjective sentences or adjective clauses, or um, adding, information involving different contexts. Could be time, could be cause, could be condition, could be manner, could be a contrast, or could be a place. Yes. So, well, in case you have some doubts, in the previous, I mean, in today's session, we just covered how to reduce the adverb clauses, and in the previous session, we just covered how to reduce the adjective clauses. Yes. So, the idea is, I mean, if you just do it once, twice, it's okay. You don't need to be reducing everything you are saying because it won't make sense. Okay, but for example, you can reduce an idea like, yesterday when I was going home, yesterday when I was going home, I saw a friend of mine. No, you can just simply say, yesterday when going home, I saw a friend of mine, and then you continue the blah 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 blah, and then okay, this idea I'm going to add, I don't know, some I contrast. So I'm going to say, although fascinated, no, although I was fascinated for what happened, you simply say, although fascinated for what happened, I decided to blah blah blah, and then you continue ta 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 ta. Okay, my next idea I'm going to use probably, I don't know, an idea of involving time. So since I finished studying, so you just simply say, since finishing studying, I realized that not being a student anymore is really, really sad because da 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 da. You see, it's just that. I would say that for this activity is easier if you decide to use the connectors of the other connectors. I mean, there are more. You can actually mix, different reductions in your speech. Yes. The adjectives. Well, you remember the adjectives are just there to refer to something that we previously mentioned: who, which, and that. So either way, you just feel free to use any of the two whenever you want, as many times as you want. Just to make sure to use them correctly. Okay. So, as an advice, as a suggestion, take it or leave it, is writing down a draft. All right, just make sure to write the full sentence just the way it is, and then reduce it. Okay, just remember the things that we just did today. I will check the activity that I just sent you, just in case you have some doubts. But since I don't trust you, okay, and you're not supposed to be reading, then yes, you have to blindfold. You have to get your eyes covered when recording the video. As it says, you have a minimum of 3 minutes. If you want to improvise, it's even better. It means that you can handle, you know, English efficiently. But if you decide to write down some ideas so that you get to know how to start and how to finish what you're saying, it's fine. Yes, just make sure to write, I don't know, like a brief introduction. Then you start developing or breaking up, whatever the information you want to say, and then obviously something just to finish what you're saying. Yes, 3 minutes, I guess, is not too much. Uh, that's why the it's an open topic. You can talk about whatever you want. So that it will be easier for you, make sure to talk about something that you have done recently, about something that you can, that involves information that you can handle. I've seen students, uploading videos talking about historical facts. well, if you feel comfortable in that way, do it. But I'm just saying, talking about something, historical facts, or something that involves like really complex vocabulary is going to get, uh, yeah, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to affect. No, I wouldn't say affect. Yeah, it's going to get this activity more difficult than what it actually is. Okay, it's just uh, start thinking about something that you would like to talk about. Then start thinking about ways for you to reduce some of the ideas that you're going to use in your speech. Once that you feel ready, and once that you check that whatever the information you're going to say covers the 3 minutes, then you start recording. Then I'm going to be just making sure that you are not reading. So that's why, to avoid that inconvenient, yeah, I'm going to ask you to cover your eyes. And once once you finish the video, you just please, as a big favor, just make sure to upload it through this app, this message, or in that specific message. Then that's it. No, everybody's going to be happy. All right. So, what else? What else? Oh yeah, about the deadline. This is a Saturday's class, so we don't have like many sessions during the semester. So is it okay if I ask you to cover this for next Saturday? Am I asking too much?
No, teacher, I think
No? It's okay?
No, teacher.
All right then. So I won't, you see, just for so that you don't hate me more than you do, I won't ask you to do any activity. So if we finish today's session at 11:30, around 11:30, it's just for you guys, or 11:30, 11:45, something like that. Then it's just for you to just take the rest of the class. If you want to start coming up with some ideas about what would you do to come up with a situation where you can use or you can apply those reductions. Then during the week, if you want me to, send me your drafts, and I won't have any issues in checking whatever your ideas are. And in case you have some questions in your writing, I can help you out in that case, so that you feel more comfortable when recording the video. Yes, as an advice or as a suggestion, well, that's the way many students have been doing it, like that. They write down some ideas, then once they just settle down how they're going to start and finish what they are going to say, then you cannot, and since in the end it's information that you can handle, some things that probably personal situations or something, is information that you already know, so you can improvise. And I've checked videos that have a length of 6-7 minutes. So the idea is just to feel as comfortable as possible. So that's why I'm not saying you have to talk about this, and no, it's open. All right. So with that thing said, I will set the time so that you guys deliver the activity. But you know what? I won't do it in class time. I won't do it for you to deliver it at 8 a.m. I will set the time so you deliver the activity, yes, on Saturday, next Saturday, but you still have the rest of the day. So till 11:59 p.m. All right? So that in case, for some reason, I'm just saying, you're also working, you're unable to, for some reason, whatever just happened, that means that even that day, you can even next on the deadline, you can still have the rest of the day to upload the video. All right? So then let's start checking the activity, the one that I just sent you. Okay, you already have the instructions right here, just in case. Then, all right, so Here it is. So this is something that eventually you see in these tests, no, like in the TOEFL test, the IELTS, whatever, no. Every time you see information connected with an ing, pay extra attention to the subject. We know that it's impossible for a noise to perform the action of the walking. So we know that the walking is something that only humans and animals can perform. Well, I mean, some animals, right? So yeah, it has to be definitely be the subject, the girl. Now, when applying for a parking sticker, who is the one applying? The campus police or the students? It's definitely, they have to be the students, right? So it has to be the option B. While using the microwave oven for the first time, the roast, that doesn't make sense. The one using the microwave has to be the chef. So must be the option B. But then the next one, hoping to save taxpayers' money. Who are the ones hoping that? The biologists or the weed eating fish? It doesn't make sense. So it has to be the biologists. When renting an apartment, yes, must be the person renting the apartment, must be the tenant. So must be the option B. After twice losing congressional campaigns, who was the person facing this situation? Well, it's definitely Abraham Lincoln. Because be careful in the option A, because of the possessive, the apostrophe of possession, we are talking about the campaign, the presidential campaign, not about this guy. Oh, not about this president. So, yeah, stupid battery all the time. Okay. So must be the option B. Then on the second column, sleeping in the corner, the neighborhood, okay, both can be. But because of the context, yes, we can realize that it's about the kittens. So must be the option A. Increasing from 2.5 billion in 1950. The one increasing has to be the population. So must be the option B. Borrowing from nature's designs. The ones borrowing or doing this must be the engineers. Option B.
White teacher.
I'm sorry?
Es que yo puse, por ejemplo, ahí yo puse la otra.
The new oil tankers?
Ajá.
But you have the action borrowing. I mean,
Mm,
is it possible for por los tanques de petróleo o no? De tomar prestado algo? It doesn't make sense. Borrowing is something that only humans can do. So borrowing from nature's designs, engineers are designing. Okay? So must be the option B. Pay extra attention to the verb. And then with the verb, you may realize if the subject can do it or not. Okay? Then, after passing through a pleasant first stage, who are the ones passing? The second stage? No way. Most foreign visitors. Must be the option A. Then, challenging established hypotheses about the origin of modern man. Who are the ones challenging this? The fossils? No way. The archaeologists, right? So must be the option B. Yes? So this is the way you have to analyze when you see these gaps, no? Like A, B, C's and D's, and you see the information separated like that. Just always analyze who the subject might be. Yes? And the rest, well, it was something that we just did, no? As the teacher gave a difficult test, he let them use a dictionary. We have two different subjects. Just remember the rule is very clear. If you have two different subjects, you cannot reduce anything. Now, in your speech for the first oral test, you are only going to be talking about yourself. So that's why you are going to be able to reduce your ideas. The problem is, if you are talking about someone else, then just pay extra attention because probably that idea cannot be reduced. Okay? So when I was walking, right? When I was walking, I realized. When I was walking, I realized. The same subject, I. So yes, I can reduce it. When I was walking, when I, no, when walking, I realized that blah, 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 blah. You cannot reduce ideas that have different subjects. Okay? Then, as soon as I understood her question, the boss asked for my opinion. So we have the boss and we have I. So it's going to be exactly the same. No change possible. Must be the option B because again we have two different subjects, I and the boss. Right? Number 5. After he finished the paper, she went to work. We have the subject he, we have the subject she. So no change possible. Yes? As he didn't want to interrupt, he let her finish the telephone call. We have the same subject? Yes, he and he. Second, I need to pay extra attention to the connector. The connector is as. Always gets omitted. The sentence is negative. So it means that I omit as, I omit the subject, I only keep the negative particle not. I just simply say not wanting to interrupt. Yes? So it has to be the option A. Then, just to finish this, second column. Although the weather was awful, contrast, we went on a hike. So, the first subject is the weather, second subject is we. I cannot reduce the sentence. We have two different subjects. So, we just leave it exactly the way it is. Option C. Next one. Since he didn't want to hurt her feelings, he didn't tell her the truth. He, same subject. Now, is this since the connector of contrast? Sorry, a connector of time? Or is this since a connector of cause?
Of course.
It's cause. So we omitted. The sentence
No,
is
we
negative.
didn't.
Exactly. Yes. Just like your classmate said. Perfect. Not wanting to hurt her feelings. Option A. Then the next one is a connector of time. So we keep it. While I was watching TV, I found same subject, yes, I. So we do the omission. While watching TV, I found out the news. Option A. Finally, the same connector that we have to reduce, but the problem is that, again, we have two different subjects. The subject, the sun, and the subject, me, I. So the sentence cannot be reduced. So must be the option D. All right? So you see, it's very simple. Once that you start feeling comfortable with this, you can start applying in your daily speaking, and you will sound more, more into like in a proficiency level. Because yes, this is something that you listen to. This is something that you can also apply in your writing. And then I guess I didn't mention it, but even though it might sound that this is informal, actually it's not informal. Okay. If someone is just thinking about writing a thesis or an article, yes, you can also do this in a thesis or an article. If you feel that you previously used many connectors like when, why, while, no, or because, or I don't know, which, who, many times, then you can apply this to avoid being repetitive. Yeah, in the end, it's just another mechanism you can apply to avoid being redundant and being repetitive. Yes. So please don't. The idea is not only learning this because the stupid teacher is asking you. No. It's something that you can, like I said, uh, you can use it to mold your writing. I use it a lot. I just use this a lot when translating documents. I have used it in many in different contexts, in different yeah translations. You know, for engineering, for law, even for you know even for some medical translations. This is something that you can apply in general. Yes, and speaking, yes, even in the listening section, you see that people usually reduce their ideas too. We do the same in Spanish. Yes. So yeah, just for you to consider this. And I don't know if you guys have any questions. I just you may have realized that I sent you a file. This is the file. I couldn't send it to you, or I couldn't upload it through the Classroom app because it's quite heavy, and it's just almost impossible. I should have tried to send to you by Google Drive, but yeah, well, I just had the option to send to you by email, and I did it just like that. So, as you know, for the adjective, for both adjective or other clauses, we have to do the same analysis. Okay, when the subject is doing the action, when the sentence is active, we use the ing. Yes, she is the person. Let's see. She is the no. Wait, the woman who is working is my friend. The woman is doing the action. Yes. The sentence is active. Yes. Okay. So I can say instead of the woman who is working, I say the woman working. Now, el libro okay, I don't know if it works like that, but okay, la carta que fue escrita está mal redactada. Okay, so the letter which was written is poorly written, or is poorly made, or whatever. No, so instead of the letter which was written, we can just simply say the letter written. The television which was purchased, we just simply say the television purchased. Okay? The same happens over here. It's just the same. We have to analyze if the sentence is active or if the sentence is passive. Okay? So usually the most common are the actives, no? The ones that we just did. All the time we use ing in all the actions, no? So when I was walking, when walking, okay? When I was running, when running, yes, and so on, because I had a connector of time. Though she was beautiful, though beautiful, yes. Now I'm thinking about an example in passive. What would that be? Example in passive voice. Okay, when the telephone, no, wait, when the telephone was destroyed, that's very stupid. No, when the car was, okay, cuando el auto fue golpeado, when the car was hit, we can just simply say when hit. You got it? We don't say when hitting, we say when hit, because the sentence is passive. All right. So these are the things that we have to analyze all the time. Then you'll see some examples. So in case you still have some doubts with the adjectives, then it's just for you to remember those, no? These ones are very easy. We just need to connect the sentences. So the girl who is happy won the race. Or you can also say the girl who won the race is happy. Number 3, we are studying phrases which, because we are talking about something that doesn't have life, we are studying phrases which contain Adjective clauses. Number 4, we read a novel which was written by Andrea Hirata, and he helped the man who was hit by a motorcycle. Okay, so once that you connect your ideas with who, which, and that, then you have to remember this. Again, you get all this information so that you get so that you remember now how to reduce the sentences connected with who and which. Take a look. The man who is talking, we just simply say the man talking. The ideas which are presented, we just simply say the ideas presented. And is the woman who is responsible, you simply say and is the woman responsible. The books that are on that shelf, we just simply say the books on that shelf. Yes, just remember that we always do the same. We omit the connector and we also omit the auxiliary verb. Who is talking? Just talking. Okay? The same happens with which, who, which, and that. The three of them gets omitted. But just remember that in case you have an adjective, you just keep the adjective. The woman responsible, the woman happy, instead of the woman who is happy, the woman happy, no? Then, and in case you have an idea connected with a preposition that are on that shelf, that are in, on, at, before, no? Then just remember you can keep that information with the preposition. The books on the shelf, I don't know, the shoes on the floor, instead of the shoes which are on the floor, the shoes on the floor. Yes, the computer in my classroom instead of the computer which is in my classroom. Yes, all right. Then just remember that in case we don't have a verb, an auxiliary verb like the verb to be, we just do the same. We always omit the connector. No, English has an alphabet that consists. English has an alphabet consisting. That's it. Anyone who wants to come, we just simply say anyone wanting to come. Yes. And then when the sentence is passive, okay, el libro que fue escrito por J.K. Rowling. Okay, so we just simply say el libro escrito. We do the same in Spanish, no? We just keep the past participle form every time the idea is in passive. So in the end, you have to check this. You have to check this. My idea is active. Okay, I have to reduce it. I have to reduce my idea using an ing. What I'm going to say is passive. Okay, so whatever I'm going to say, I have to reduce it using the past participle form. Yes? Are there any questions with this?
No, teacher.
Now, okay, let's see. Let's see. You guys, please. You have to do two things. First, you have to connect the idea using who, which, or that. Once that you do that, then you reduce it. I can do the first one. I have a cat. Well, I consider animals as humans. So I'm going to use the connector who. Okay? I have a cat who is called Mimi. Okay, so I omit who and I also omit is. I'm just going to say, I have a cat called Mimi. Because the sentence is passive. Llamado. So I have a cat called Mimi. Now, please, who wants to do the number 2? Anyone? Is that hard, really?
books were burned, which told about bad things.
No. Chan, 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 chan. Ok, which hace referencia a ellos o a los libros.
Books.
Okay, so you have to say the books which were burnt told about bad things. Now that you have this, you can reduce it. So instead of the books which were burned, you just simply say los libros quemados, no? The books burned told about bad things. Okay? Which were burned, pst, you omit who, pst, you omit where, and you simply say the books burned. Now, who wants to do number 3? He was accused of murder. The man was arrested. Perfect. ¿Cómo reducirías esa? How will you reduce it? No. Okay, once again. You just said the man who was arrested was accused of murder. Exactly. There you go. Perfect. Only the sentence that has the connector who, which, and that is the one that we are going to reduce. El hombre arrestado fue acusado de homicidio or whatever, no? The man arrested was accused of murder. Exactly. Perfect. What about the next one? She was shocked by the bad news. The woman burst into tears. Perfect. And instead of the woman who was burst, you can just simply say the woman burst. Perfect. Then I'm going to cover the last ones. And in case I'm moving faster, please let me know. It is organized by your team. Okay, so the event, right? The event which is organized by your team will surely be. And there's a mistake with this stupid book. It has to be the event which is organized by your team will surely be a great success. So the event which is organized, the event organized by your team, blah, blah, blah. Okay? The next one. The film which is based on real events tells the story of a reporter. Instead of the film which is based, we just simply say the film based. The next one. She was born in Hollywood. The woman knows all the famous movie stars. Okay. So the woman who was born in Hollywood knows all the famous movie stars. So instead of the woman who was born in Hollywood, we just simply say the woman born in Hollywood. The next one. The car was taken to the garage. It was repaired within an hour. So the car which was taken, so we just simply say the car taken. The next one. She was admired by everyone. The girl began to grow arrogant. So the girl who was admired by everyone, we just simply say the girl admired. The girl who was admired, the girl admired. Finally, and this is classic, and this is so sad, and it always happens. Most of the time it happens. And then yes, I know what I'm not going to be like more specific in this case, but the man who was dumped by his girlfriend, the man dumped, the man who was dumped, the man dumped. Okay, so that's the way it's supposed to be. As you can see, there were most of these sentences were passive, so we were using the past participle form, not the ing. Are there any questions from 5 to 10? All right then. Now, like I said, I mean, you already have this file. Yes. So, what time is it now? It's almost 11. Perfect. It's almost time. So, what are you going to do is very simple, okay? For the next, yeah, I'm just going to give, yeah, let's just do it like this. You're going to have 30 minutes to complete. No, no, I don't even know. You know what? Yeah, let's do it like this. Try to focus on these adverb clauses. Yes, you have the brief explanation of how to reduce these sentences. Yes, and then you have to, again, connect the sentences using the appropriate connector, and then you reduce the sentence. For example, in number 1, we watch the news every day. We know what's going on in the world. So if we check the context, we can clearly see that we need a connector of cause. So if we need a connector of cause, we have 3 options. We can connect this idea with because, with as, and with since. Now, let's just place the connector at the beginning. Because we watch the news every day, since we watch the news every day, as we watch the news every day, comma, we know what's going on in the world. So as you know, when we use these connectors, we omit the connector, we omit the subject, and we modify the verb using an ing form. So instead of because we watch the news, we just simply say watching the news every day. Okay? So please, you have to cover these 10 exercises. Be careful though, because you may see what. Well, these are the 3 connectors that you have to use in this activity. You have 3 options: cause, effect, time, the ones that we already discussed, and well, it says concession. You know, there are different terminologies according to different books, no? So, instead of concession, just consider what? Contrast. Okay? So, well, and that's weird because we have a connector of contrast and we also have a connector of condition. But yeah, forget about this. Just remember, condition is if, unless. Contrast is although, even though, and though. So just remember, in this case, the only thing that you have to do is just to use just to connect the sentences. We can come up with the second one. It says the boy asked his mother's permission. He went out to play. Any ideas to connect number 2?
Could I say while Bobby asked his mother permission if he went out to play?
Perfect. You see, your classmates decided to use a connector of time. So yes, you can use the 3 of them. You can use while, you can also use after, or you can also use before if you want. Now, okay, just leave it like that, okay? We're just going to leave the sentence like that. Perfect. What about number 3? He had drunk too much. He didn't drive home himself.
Because he had drunk too much, he didn't drive home himself.
Perfect. So your classmate decided to use a connector of cause. So it means that you can also say because, or you can also use as, or you can also use since. Perfect. What about number 4? You see, it's just the same. Since we have, no? Since we have written down, okay, but this one is difficult. Well, I will say that difficult, but you see the sentence is passive. So just remember that when we use these connectors, it has to be since, then I, and then the verb, no? So, well, we can leave it like that. We can say since 2 tests, or because 2 tests, or we can say as 2 tests have been written down by us today. Yeah, we can leave it like that. Yeah, sorry. So yes, in this context, we need to use the connectors, of course. Finally, any ideas for number 5? To connect number 5?
Before she filed this, the washing machine, it was switched on.
Okay, yeah, definitely we need to use a connector of time. Yeah. Maybe you can also use after, no? After she filled the washing machine, it was switched on. Could be that one after, or could be before. Well, it depends, no? But I guess that, well, yes, you're right. Because, well, it depends on the washing machine. In some cases, once that you fill the washing machine with clothes, then you turn it on. There are others that you just turn it on before filling the washing machine up, no? So, well, it depends in the washing machine. But definitely, we needed to use a connector of time. So, yeah, in this case, we just needed to connect these sentences, no? But for the next ones, oh, like I said, you have like a brief explanation of how to reduce these ones. Then you have to do that. Yes? Take it as a homework. Just take it as a way for you to review this topic, reducing adverb clauses. Then here you have some explanations about this. And finally, you have like a mini test, okay? Like a 10 exercises test. It's not that much. Finally, this one is the one that is interesting. Yes, some of your classmates already did it because in the end, these are one. And trust me, I have checked many different ways to explain this topic, but these exercises are, I don't know. I have never seen similar examples or similar activities like these ones, and yeah, this one is really cool. You know, basically what you have to do is just to identify the sentences connected with the adjectives, who, which, and that, and reduce them. And also identify the ideas connected with adverbs, time, cause, condition, manner, contrast, place, and also reduce them. I usually help you out with the first paragraph. It says, Vincent van Gogh, who was born. So instead of this, we just simply say Vincent van Gogh, born in Holland in 1853. All right? He's one of the world's most famous painters, although his talent was unrecognized throughout his life. There you go. We have this idea connected with although. So, how will you reduce this idea? Although his talent was unrecognized throughout his life. How will you reduce this?
Although talent,
Okay, but his talent, you see, his talent is the subject. I know it seems to be like an adjective, but no, actually it's a noun. His talent is a noun. Now, the adjective actually is unrecognized. So remember the rule? The rule says that if you have a connector of contrast, you only keep the adjective. So you just simply say, although unrecognized throughout his life. Okay? So that's the thing that you have to do. Just analyze the information you have over here and continue. Obviously, if you have ideas that are not reduced, just copy and paste the rest of the information. I mean, you can take it as a homework. Yeah, well, yes, why not? There are a few exercises, only this from 2 to 10, because we already did number 1. Just cover this one, cover this mini test, and this story, about Vincent van Gogh. Yes. So, well, it's almost 11:30. Okay, 20 past 11. So just consider this as a follow-up activity. So please, I will set the time so that you can deliver this. That's just, in class time, you have plenty of time. Come on, it's still 1 p.m. And just consider using, in the end, it's just a review of these two reduction structures. And just make sure to use them in your speech for the first oral test. So once I dismiss the session, I will set the time so you guys deliver the beautiful test, please, the first oral test next Saturday. And please, just before I let you guys go, if Dante can stay with me, and well, the rest of your those classmates who were having issues, and didn't do the registration process in time, please just stay with me a couple of minutes to discuss this, and then I will send you. You already have the file, so I have nothing to send. So please, you can start working on them now. When I feel when you just unplug, okay? So have a nice and excellent weekend. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next Saturday. Please, during the week you can send me your drafts, and I can send you back feedback. Yes, thanks to you, young lady.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Teacher.
Teacher, entonces de hora del test es para la próxima clase, ¿verdad?
Yes, next Saturday.
Perfecto, gracias. Hasta luego.
Ahora les voy a mostrar la lista